Hello and welcome to Destination Adventure. My name is John Griffiths. I'm the lead environment artist for EU Sandbox 2, and I'm the product owner for the distribution centers. Before we delve into, I'll put my slide on for a start. Before we delve into it, everything that you're going to see is currently in gray box, so just keep that in mind. So, these distribution centers, what are they? Well, first off, they're the biggest location we have on the ground outside of landing zones. The reason why they're so big is intentional. We wanted them to accommodate as much world and mission-based gameplay as possible. Each location supports multiple landing pads and hangars, making them accessible to as many players as possible at any one time. There's even a road network to support transit from the planet's surface, into the main building and to any berth ships. So every distribution center will be owned by a faction. Depending on the faction and where the distribution center is located on the planet will determine its specialism. Now, each specialism will lend itself to different missions and gameplay opportunities. So let's talk about some factions for a moment. So, an example of a major faction would be the UEE. Now, at their distribution centers, they're likely to be more specialized towards military supply, research and development, or communications, depending on which branch of the UEE it is. They will have a much stronger military presence in the area, and missions here may be more hostile with combat-orientated, team-based raid opportunities. Other examples of hostile gameplay that we're thinking of is hacking and stealing, searching for and destroying a specific item, tracking and eliminating any VIPs, and everyone's favorite, eliminate all. Greycat Industrial would be an example of a minor faction. So their distribution centers will be more specialized towards gathering resources, manufacturing, assembly, shipping. There would be a security presence here, but it won't be that as strong as a major faction. And missions here would be more suited to friendly gameplay loops, though we won't be ruling out hostile missions like corporate espionage. Some other friendly gameplay types. Cargo hauling, like I said, resource gathering and mining, maintenance of the location. But that's enough of me talking about it. How about we show you where we're up to with these distribution centers? Thank you. So to talk you through the corporate spaces at these locations, please welcome Rainer Rick to the stage.
Hello, hello. So my name is Rainer Rick. I'm a lead environment artist at the Montreal studio, and we've been working with John's team on the distribution centers. So John just showed how massive these locations are. He also presented the industrial sections on the ground level, and I'm here to present the administrative area of these facilities that the Montreal team has been working on. So they're located above ground, just below the tower highlighted in the picture. Inside, you'll be able to explore the corporate office space and interact with the administrative personnel. Accessible via the lifts in the hangars and also the industrial sections we saw earlier. In addition, we've added also landing pads in front of the lobby, specifically designed for smaller ships and ideal for short stays like pickup or delivery missions. And we can't ignore the fantastic views we have from these platforms, a reminder of the vastness of these facilities. Now, let's step inside the lobby. You'll find the atrium, which is a central point of the administrative area, providing access to various locations of the corporate space. Within this space, you'll find the reception desk, and as a newcomer, you'll be expected to report here first. So here you can hand over your deliveries or pick up packages and earn reputation points with that faction. So also expect to see corporate ownership reflected through branding, color schemes, and product placement throughout the corporate hub. And with the use of overlays, we'll be able to swap these out depending on the ownership. And here's an example with Grey Cat showcasing their vehicles and some shiny armor. And back on the topic of reputation, as it grows, you can expect to gain access to the executive office spaces. From here, you'll meet with unique quest givers, and depending on your reputation level, you'll receive various mission types, either friendly or hostile. And finally, the distribution centers were designed as an evolving location. We've built this with future expansion in mind. And in the back of the lobby, for example, doorways could eventually lead to additional office space. So, enough talk. Just before I show our progress so far, I want to give a big thank you to the Montreal team for their work on the administration area. Thank you. And as John mentioned, we're still in gray box phase, so just keep that in mind. But let's take a look. Thank you very much. And now let me welcome back John on stage. He's going to continue the presentation. Thanks a lot, guys.
Team did a great job with that video. Okay, so something we've been working on that's unique to this location is raids. Click on. So raids are team-based missions with a focus on high-risk, high-reward operations. As Carl mentioned previously, you'll be able to choose how you gain entry to these locations. Coming prepared and geared up will make the difference between success and failure. Ultimately, you'll need to work together in order to succeed. So these raids will have you breaching the interior of the main structure, highlighted here. Now, each interior will comprise of rooms that reflect the location's specialism. For example, a shipping focused distribution center will have rooms dedicated to the storage of cargo. Looking to the future, we're planning on having distribution centers with subterranean levels that will be accessed from this interior space. These will expand upon and increase the difficulty of these raids. Now let's take a look at one of these raid missions in action, but please note that this is early gameplay prototype of a raid. Thank you. So, as you saw in the video, the team took a more aggressive approach to getting inside and taking what they wanted. But this isn't the only approach you can use. Multiple points of egress allow you to be stealthier, and it may make it easier for you to avoid obstacles in your path. Now, reputation will also tie into these raids. Missions will have varying objectives depending on the player's reputation level, and dynamic events may also be triggered during the raid, so players will need to adapt to an evolving situation. This could range from dealing with additional security personnel to other players arriving to defend the location against you. Something else we've been prototyping is how we can utilize the multi-tool to create gameplay puzzles. Physically interacting with the environment around you changes the puzzles for everybody. With multiple add-ons for the tool available, you may have to get creative when finding a solution to the problem in front of you. In this next video, we show you how using the tractor beam attachment can open up new paths to your objective, but it's up to you to decide what path you can create with what is available. Let's watch the video. So, yes, thank you. Now, obviously, it was, this location would be possible with several people at CIG, so thanks go to Manuel, John, Jack, Martin, Farouk, Luke, Chris, Mustafa, Sam, Tom, and Rob. You've been excellent. Thank you to Rainer and his team in Montreal. You know, none of this would be possible without their efforts. And yeah, thanks to everybody here and online watching. Really appreciate your support. On to the next one.
Hello. This is a good segue from the distribution centers, as I'll be talking to you about different aspects of cargo and freight on behalf of Art and Design. My name is Nick Etheridge, and I'm an Assistant Environment Art Director. So obviously, cargo isn't just about boxes. It's a big part of the game. Almost every aspect of the game has some kind of involvement with cargo. And I'm going to briefly go through some of them now. So let's start with missions. How will hauling contracts work in-game? We'll be introducing the Interstellar Transport Guild, as well as formalizing some of the main hauling and cargo companies that you'll be working with. As you do more hauling contracts, you will build up your reputation and relationship with the guild. This will lead you to gaining more lucrative contracts for specialized cargo and destinations, such as different forms of hazardous cargo, perishable cargo, riskier routes, and more. So what do I mean by hazardous and perishable? Well, as you know, there's lots of commodities in the game, and different commodities have different properties. As you know, with events like Xenothreat, we have some special cargo types with different attributes, such as time-sensitive cargo or quantum-sensitive cargo. But those were a small selection for the event, and they were the two-handed carryable types anyway. We'll be expanding those types, plus lots more types, to the wider game and to these hauling contracts. So how does this affect gameplay? It will affect the choices you make when you are handling, storing, and traveling with the cargo. For example, with size and weight, is it carryable? Do you need a tractor beam? What type of tractor beam do you need? Is it a handheld one or a ship tractor beam? Some containers can only be moved with ship tractor beams, for example. With health, has the container got good integrity? Is it holding fragile goods? Do you need to handle it with care? You can't just throw all containers about. For temperature control, do you need to ensure the container is powered so it can keep the contents cool? Or do you need to get to your destination quickly, otherwise the contents may perish? For security, can the container be locked or hacked? Can the contents be scanned, or is the container tracked? Will there be pirates or law after you when you're holding this container? Hazard containment. Is it radioactive? You might need the right protection against it, as you may have seen in Jens's presentation earlier. Can it explode? You might not want to put these containers on a more exposed section of your ship. And many of these attributes are going to be visually distinctive. So conversely, if you want to steal, for example, some cargo on a whole sea, which does have very exposed cargo containers, you might want to avoid shooting blindly and accidentally blowing up your potential profits. So look out for those types of containers. Back to mission progression. We'll be introducing perks and rewards as part of fulfilling contracts and raising reputation with these companies. For rewards, we'll have branded ship and tool skins, branded clothing. There will be collectibles to decorate your hab, hangar, or ship, or you can put them anywhere you want. And there'll be more exclusive rewards that we'll be revealing later. Thank you. For perks, you'll get access to more items in shops and discounts on specific items. And all of these rewards and perks you need to earn in the game. You cannot just buy them. Next, let's have a look at freight elevators and hangars. I knew you'd be excited for this. I'd like to show you a short video to demonstrate how freight elevators will change how you view your hangars and how you use your hangars. No. Thank you. Thank you. So, as you can see, hangars, they will become persistent and personal, meaning you can stay there as long as you want. Whatever you leave there will persist and will be yours to use as you see fit. Your hangar won't just be a place that you leave from in your ship. It will become a key base of operations to handle your inventory and storage needs, and you'll be able to request your ships from an ASOP terminal from within the hangar itself. Location inventories won't be magic and instant anymore. This means that the freight elevators will be one of the main ways you interact with your local inventory. Items stored at the location can be requested via the elevator kiosks and will be brought up in a physicalized state to do with as you want. This would be done through a dedicated interface screen to manage large volumes of items. It won't be using the personal inventory system. The change is obviously a really big quality of life improvement to retrieving ground vehicles. No longer do you have to travel thousands or millions of kilometers to specific places in the verse to get your vehicle. You will get them straight from your hangar. You'll also be able to bring up ship components, so your hangar is now more of a maintenance bay and outfitters where you can do repairs and swap around items and things like that. So in short, persistent player hangars in combination with freight elevators will dramatically change what you can do in your hangar. It will be a home to do as you want, which has always been the dream. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. And I will pass you over to Todd Pappy.
Sitcon. Come on, I can't hear you. All right, there we go. So, we'll be talking today about something special. It's an update on something that we talked about a little while ago, but we feel it's the future of Star Citizen, and it's the culmination of multiple different game systems coming together. So why don't you play the video? All right, so base building. All right, it breaks down into two really large gameplay sections, planning ahead and prepping, and then you've got the on-site where you're actually gonna build. So with that, you need to figure out what your goal is. Is it to have a home with a nice view and relax? Is it to have a trading post where you want to create and sell items? Is it to gather resources available and move on to the next area? Or is it to be off-grid and be completely self-sufficient? So with that, with your prep and everything like that, we've got blueprints. So the recipes. Everything in the game is fabricated from a blueprint. Players acquire blueprints via reputation rewards, missions, or rare NPCs. With any blueprint, you can actually do research on it and then create different variations. With materials, ranging from the common to ultra rare, you might find them at the local shop or have to travel around the universe to collect them. Unrefined, refined, simple materials, or even complex components will all go into the fabrication. With this, then you've got location, location, location. First area is high security, so you must purchase the land. The base is actually invulnerable because of the planetary shield tech. A security will show up to protect it as well. You pay for the privilege, you're taxed. So at this point, you won't have the best resources available. You won't have access to the best resources available on the planet. If you don't pay your taxes, the shields will go away after a period of time, and the base will become derelict and will collapse. But this is low risk, low reward. Then you've got low security. So again, you must purchase the land. It's owned by an independent corp, gang, or faction. Again, you don't have access to all the best resources on the planet. The base is vulnerable. AI NPCs will show up and protect the base if it's attacked. The protection will escalate over time. Player can also build defenses to help mitigate this as well. And then it's medium reward, medium risk. Then you've got lawless. So this is no protection other than what you build. There's shields, anti-air. Players can disable the shields by getting close to them and destroying them. High risk, high reward. Since there's no taxes, no protection fees, you get a high return on the resources that you collect. Now, there's some cross-shard and server meshing considerations that will kind of adjust this design in the future, but we'll get into that later once we're really building it. So from here, you've got the tools. So this is what we would consider a surveyor. With this, we want to actually cater to everybody's playstyle, whether you're solo or in an org. With this, you've got different buildings that you can produce, from small, medium, to large, to XL, or XL. So with the surveyor tool, you can only build the small buildings. With a vehicle, you can build small and medium-sized buildings. With the Galaxy, you can build small to large structures. And then obviously with the Pioneer, Pioneer can do it all. And it still works as a mobile base. And we'll talk about some of the more expanded features that we're adding to it in later on. So, and then it's also, we're exploring what can be done in space, not just on the planet. So from here, you set off on your journey. So with the land claim, you put your tool down where you want, you launch the drone that is built into the machine, and then from there, this allows the player to access the base building and also land claim mode. With the land claim modes, the player can actually change the size and position of what area they want to claim, and it also shows you the cost and taxes associated with it. If it's in a taxable zone and you don't own the land, this interface will default to it. So if you own land or it's in a lawless area, it'll automatically go to base building mode. So with the overhead view of the land, you can actually place down buildings exactly where you want. You can see the resources beneath the surface. And then you can also place multiple buildings before you actually build. So you can see how it will all kind of come together. You'll see the resources that are needed for it. And then you can also switch back and forth between different modes, which are showing off the resource network and how you link basically power generators to consumers. And then the player can move or deconstruct existing buildings right now with no charge. Fabrication. So when you basically build these buildings, they don't come with any furnishings. And if you didn't bring any with you, then you want to build a fabricator. So depending on what you want to build, there's different sizes of them that support buildings from decorations, armor, weapons, components, and even ships. So like base building mode, you need blueprints, resources to craft what you want. Everything fabricated is produced from it produces a physicalized entity. Stats and quality will depend on the quality of the materials actually used. Once you've done that and you've built your decorations, now you can actually fill the room the way that you want to fill it. So furnishings can be purchased at different locations, or they can actually be fabricated. You can do that via first person or in a dedicated mode in the Surveyor's tool. With that, you've got different types of buildings. So you've got utility style, which would be garages, freight elevators, landing pads, storefronts. And then you've got extractors. So with extractors, we want to make sure that nothing in regards to resource gathering is fully automated. A level of player engagement is always needed. So as Nick talked about before, there are different types of commodities, radioactive, perishable, et cetera. What you'll be doing is pulling out full containers. Then from there, it'll be repairing, or there's wear and tear associated with it, or even misfires like you saw in Thorsten's talk and Guillermo's talk yesterday. There's also upgrade paths for making them more efficient or resilient. Power generators. So with different types of power generators, there'll be some that are more cost-effective as well as effective in different areas. Solar panels will not always work in darkness. Fuel generators will need to be filled up every now and then batteries to store excess power. Then you've got producers. So things that will require the players to combine different resources to produce new items. And then you've got defense. So anti-air, anti-personnel, and then shield generators. And then the big one, we start development Q1. So that's me. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. It's wonderful to see you.
Hello. Hey, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed everything you've seen in these last 2 days. We were really excited to show you a lot of it. And I've sort of seen some online comments about, okay, well, that's very cool, but when are we going to get it in the game? But one of the real reasons why we wanted to show you this CitizenCon is because we've hit an inflection point on a lot of the features, as in they're either finished or they're in polishing stage, which is why we're showing them. So everything that we've been showing you here at CitizenCon is our intention, not making 100% promise, just so everyone remembers that, to get them into Star Citizen through next year. So it's not going to be gated on having to be after Squadron 42. So we are... So we're planning over the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 of next year. Hopefully everything that we've shown you, you will have in your hands playing inside Star Citizen. So, and it's very gratifying for the team and myself to finally be able to show you a lot of this. One of the advantages of being able to go and iterate on these features in Squadron was that we were able to do it without having to release every 3 months and make sure the old system worked while the new system was working, so we could actually really polish the features, which I hope you could see when we showed you the updated UI stuff, the updated FPS stuff, the updated flight stuff, the character stuff, which is something we're very proud of because this is, after all, an MMO. You want to have as much freedom to create the character you want to create. So, as you may have guessed, and Brian Chambers may have let slip a bit earlier, we are feature complete on Squadron 42. You will not get a release date from me today because, first of all, you always get very angry at me when I give dates. It will be when I know that we're fully about ready to print the Gold Masters, but it won't be just yet. But we prepared, the Squadron 42 team prepared a small video for you. I may be lying, it's a bit bigger than small. To give you a glimpse of everything we've been working on and what the gameplay looks and feels like. So let's roll that.
Angel 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now. We're clear. Commercial vessel out of Vega 3. Provided that civilian traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Archangel. Archangel. This is Krugeri.
Come back, Krugeri.
Redirect to Sector 7 Bravo Echo for immediate tasking.
Copy that. On our way.
I know I just wrote you, but a couple of hours ago, proximity sensors on the
other side of the jump got twigged. Word is it might be that clan we've been battling with. I guess that last fight didn't scare them
off quite like we all hoped it would. Honestly, we've been out here so long, I don't know what to
pull for anymore. I just wanted to let you know.
I'll write as soon as I can. Stay safe. Your loving son.
Never gets old, does it?
Sir.
Eddies. I used to do the same thing when I was first coming up. Post up to the flight deck whenever I could to watch the launches. Have you seen the F-8s up close?
No, sir.
The thing's a beast. Nimble, too.
12 maneuvering thrusters and 3 mains. It sure sounds like it. Sir.
Captain McLaren, to the bridge. Captain McLaren, to the bridge.
I saw you apply to the Flight Academy again.
Yes, sir.
Keep your head up. Took me a couple times before I got in.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to Cloud Imperium Games Manchester Studio. I'm Chris Roberts, and I'm pleased to announce we have just passed a major milestone. Squadron 42 is now feature complete and has entered its polish phase. To celebrate this milestone, we've gathered some of our core leadership together to share what this means.
As Chris says, we've moved into the polish phase of Squadron 42, which means extra emphasis on ensuring things feel fun. This means focusing on the small and large elements of the game, such as dialing in combat encounters, but also looking at the feel of how you control your character or vehicle and making sure it's immersive as possible. We've paid extra attention to how your character reacts when in their ship, so that you feel like an actual pilot, whether that's firing your weapons, taking hits, or punching the afterburners to get to cover. Ship AI has also seen huge improvements, with closer engagement distances and more varied behaviors. And with our new precision targeting mode, the action has never been as close. With the aim now on polish, we've organized the project into self-sufficient strike teams, so we can focus on individual areas to deliver the best experience.
Get out of sight, the Cutlass is gonna spot you.
This allows us to bring all disciplines together with a unified vision of enhancing the gameplay by seamlessly blending it with polished visuals, final cinematic performances, and our ever-improving technology.
You didn't see the boat, kid. You're good to keep going.
We're also dialing in gameplay features, such as the ship flight model, for both atmosphere and space, which covers master modes, control surfaces, and our gold standard HUD and MFDs. Our interaction system for both the world and your character have also seen additional improvements, allowing us to hone and craft environmental puzzles unique to each location, while allowing us to tell the story of the world around you. The military multi-tool is an essential piece of equipment for every pilot that integrates all attachments into a single handheld device and allows us to create really interesting challenges, including physics-based puzzles using our updated rope tech.
Unidentified vessels, this is the UEE Navy. Power down your ships and stand by for processing.
There you go. F*** off the coil's ass.
Our scanning, targeting, and marker system has also seen an overhaul, allowing us to highlight only the essential information that you need, such as key objectives, mission targets, and high-level scan information, while keeping your overall view as clean as possible.
That's skank! Take him off me! No!
Tactical FPS combat and stealth, which has seen a suite of improvements, from improved looting, weapon feel and balance, realistic scopes, and smoother locomotion, alongside our new and improved FPS radar and scanner that provides you an overview of the battlefield, but at the cost of ramping up your own emissions. We've also seen the introduction of our Maelstrom-powered destructible environment, which adds a layer of dynamism to the experience alongside our improved AI that can now have hundreds of combinations of traits that allow us to create unique and challenging combat encounters that really push your tactical awareness and skill. We play and review the builds regularly and call out action points in each level from start to finish on where we need to improve the gameplay. This is an incredibly rewarding stage of development for me and the team, as the ultimate vision of the game is realized, allowing us to craft an experience that we can be really proud of. One specific area that I'm excited to dial in is the feeling of the player interacting with the world around them,
Patching you in.
as it's a core component of Squadron and really grounds the world that you inhabit. We've made sure that any interaction in the environment is physically represented by a character animation to keep you in the moment and fully immerse you in the experience that we've created. Ultimately, this is the final phase of gameplay iteration before we fully transition into optimization and stability on the road to release.
Agent Trejo, this is Colton. Come back. Always trips me out to see terraforming setups like this. Webb tried explaining how atmosphere processors work. Really shows how far we've come. What the hell is she?
With the transition of Squadron to Polish phase, we've had the opportunity to find additional moments within the existing narrative to add subtle interactions where appropriate. It's been tremendously exciting to play through these areas and find places to augment the mood, support gameplay, and further embellish our story and characters.
So yeah, man, I can't believe it. They said I've got to wait another 2 years before I can reapply. So that's why I figured I'd get a job trying in security, because that's, you know, I can get some hours flying in the cockpit and whatnot. Can't hurt, right? Exactly.
We've also been capturing pickups for our lead female player character, as well as wildlines for our various enemies that you all will encounter throughout the game on both foot and in your cockpit. These consist of a range of responses and reactions that you as the player can trigger, which has been the culmination of efforts by the gameplay and AI teams. This means that you're going to have to tangle with some very smart and reactive bad guys to complete your mission.
At the heart of this immersive adventure, you'll find cutting-edge cinematic storytelling, thoughtfully crafted to fully immerse you into your story.
We fight today. So in 40 years from now, when you're surrounded by everything and everyone you hold dear, and they ask, what did you do in the Battle of Vega? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. Men and women of the Second Fleet, I am proud to stand with you today. Good luck. Bishop out.
Nice speech.
Any word from the recon team?
Not yet.
Well, let's get into position.
Throughout the polish phase, our team is taking every opportunity to push things to the next level.
Tell me you're expecting company? This is not good.
The Cine team is focused on finalizing edit lock on all of our big action as well as all smaller character sequences.
I could have pulled this off of the Galactopedia.
Yeah, probably, but I think their solar mass calculations are wrong, though.
Well, this is ridiculous.
How so?
We are now able to adjust our shot composition to final cameras thanks to recently crafted space vistas and level art being content complete now.
It'd be nice to know how much of a shitstorm we're flying into.
More like a hellstorm, Blue. One you ain't gonna fly out of.
Shut up.
Now, I hadn't seen another ship that wasn't trying to kill me in days, let alone a hauler, let alone a Jean. So you can imagine my surprise.
Detailed lighting passes can be done on hero sequences so we can show our cast and convey their emotions in the best light possible. And we're making sure our cinematics are triggering as fluid as we can craft them, so they form a coherent concerto with the rest of the player's narrative experience.
Mr. Wexler, this is Lieutenant Commander Colton.
Oh, Commander, hey. Julian Wexler, I'm the field manager of this little operation. Welcome aboard the Archon. What brings the Navy to this little corner of the universe?
We got you flying with Lieutenant Commander Colton. He's one of our best.
As others will share, this is the most rewarding chapter of development, which allows us to truly experience the visceral and oftentimes emotional moments that our narrative provides.
How did you handle it after Vega?
I'm not sure I handled anything. It helps to remember that stuff like this is supposed to hurt.
I've never been good at dealing with problems I can't fix.
Well, this is one that you don't have to do alone.
That's good to know.
For the animation teams, polish phase means refining the social aspects of Squadron 42 that occur between the various missions and getting the behaviors implemented across all of its chapters. Here we're dialing in the hangar to make it as immersive and believable an experience as possible.
Do it? Oh, done. Okay, all right. Let's do this. I have to switch out so we can interchange from the hangar deck. We're getting a weird airflow. Turning out to another stuff.
Yeah, I feel that. Anyway. For example, we're launching off a space carrier, but we still ground the feel in real-world actions, refueling, repairing, and inspecting, and making sure that your next flight mission is a success. This means we're looking out for pops, hiccups, or awkward transitions, and ensuring that everything flows and looks like all the great mocap performances we've captured.
Let's ready some extra ice packs out of storage. Whenever gunners are on full rotation, you can always count on at least one of them getting hurt.
We also have you covered in everyday life. The medical staff work diligently for their patients, whether they're players or crew. We really want you to feel part of an authentic crew, an important part of the UEE Navy in an enormous universe of people going about their everyday lives.
Let's go ahead and clear for takeoff. Ground crew, prep bay for takeoff.
Copy that.
Hangar, ready for launch. Takeoff approved, Baron 2. You have the ball.
Ready and hold on as you're launched off the deck of the carrier.
Baron 2, you are cleared for launch. Have a safe flight, Baron 2.
We want you to not only decide how you play the game, but to feel as if the people you interact with are in that world with you.
I would have never thought a shotgun could be so pretty. Damn, this R97 is sleek as hell. Like a lot of other weapons in Gemini's arsenal, it has a higher rate of fire than most guns of its type.
We're working to support a feel of authenticity through world traversals, running, jumping, and climbing, interactions with objects and the environment, solid weapon gameplay and enemy reactions, as well as combat realities, such as weapon malfunctions. Or in close encounters of the more lethal kind. Ooh, that's gonna hurt in the morning. As we continue to focus on the quality experience, we've been working closely with our art teams, and it's been exciting to see their environments come to life alongside us.
While animation and design have been populating the locations, polish phase for my teams means making huge advancements in the quality of our characters and environments. We've established our standard with recognizable characters like Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, and Gary Oldman. And we're now applying this to the rest of the cast and identifying any remaining tech requirements that need to be closed out. The story of Squadron 42 takes you through a variety of diverse locations of varying scales and styles. We shared glimpses of several environments before, and there's still plenty out there for you to discover. One of the main challenges the art team has had to face during the development of Squadron 42 is ensuring the visuals are complementary to the narrative of the script. The mood and feeling of a space is just as important to us as it is making sure we hit the visual quality that CIG has become known for.
No good, we can't hack it from this side. Graves, we've got a locked door. Can you give us access?
No, I'm afraid that's a negative, Steve. I would have to add you to our system to give you override permissions, and there's a lot involved in that. It won't happen quickly.
Okay, we'll figure something out.
Everything you see during the campaign has been heavily inspired by the classics of 70s and 80s sci-fi, but with a modern twist. We want everything you see to feel like it has a soul, its own personality, and tells of a history long before you arrived. Crafting interesting flight spaces and their connecting tissue has been one of the more unique challenges we've needed to overcome for Squadron. Developing our VDB tech to blend seamlessly between tighter traversal spaces and into wider space vistas and planets has proved incredibly difficult but rewarding, ensuring that Squadron flows seamlessly from one chapter to the next, without interruption. Creating a diverse array of locations is essential to us. Our environments need to work from a variety of scales. We need to pay close attention to detail, whether we're working in a dirty engineering vent or navigating the debris of a dying star, wondering what may be around that next corner, or even who may live there, how would they have survived, and what state of mind may they be in.
Yes, I've been speaking with engineering, making plenty of possible. Yeah, I'll make sure. I'm
happy. We've worked closely with our social teams in delivering a cohesive social experience when you're taking some downtime from our refined flight and FPS missions, or even missions of the more eerie kind. We'll be introducing new space stations on a massive scale, all brought together and designed to be as tangible as possible. We've thought about their function, their age, and tried to ensure there's a progression in artistic style with each station as you progress through the game. As you can see today, the teams are working incredibly hard, ramping up the detail and quality to match the breadth of our vision for Squadron 42.
Now, I know you're all asking, when can I play it?
When can I play it?
When we have the locked release date, you will be the first to know. Now, we're in polishing phase on Squadron 42. You will start to see a lot more things coming to Star Citizen, as well as overall progress on the persistent universe. polish phase can take some time. We have come this far, and we want to make sure Squadron 42 delivers on the promise of being this generation's wing commander. Now, even though there's only a few of us in this video, I'd like to extend a big thank you to all our staff around the globe who've been putting their heart and soul into bringing Squadron 42 to life. And I would like to thank everyone in the community for your patience and your support. To paraphrase Admiral Bishop, when people ask, what did you do in the development of Squadron 42? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. I'm proud to stand with you. Thank you for making this game with us.